And welcome, you're watching NDTV. I'm Vedant Agarwal. Lead story. Well, it was day one of Arvind Kejriwal's campaign after he got interim bail from the Supreme Court, and it was quite a power-packed day with Hanuman Mandir visit in the morning, to a road show, to of course a press briefing as well. There you can see Arvind Kejriwal holding a road show with Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann in South Delhi's Mehrauli, which of course is a crucial seat for the Aam Aadmi Party and the India Bloc indeed. So the Aam Aadmi Party looks at it as a major boost to their campaign, with their cadre enthused, and of course some prospects also for the India Bloc, with a top leader of the Aam Aadmi Party, a principal vote catcher, a star campaigner, now hitting the ground running. Take a look.
Well, certainly Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal is out on interim bail, and he has of course hit the road as far as the campaigning is concerned for Aam Aadmi Party. Today morning he first visited Hanuman Temple and took blessings of Lord Hanuman, spoke to the media, stated that it is the blessings of Lord Hanuman and the blessings of crores of people that he is out on bail and in front of each and every voter out there. He started he straight away went to Aam Aadmi Party headquarters, where he launched massive attacks on the Bharatiya Janata Party and top leadership, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah. In fact, he went on to ask the Bharatiya Janata Party that who is their Prime Minister candidate, because it is, according to him, Bharatiya Janata Party who had made the rule that only that no one will be given any positions after the age of 75, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi is completing 75 years of age this September. A big political war of words began soon after Arvind Kejriwal's allegations. In fact, Home Minister Amit Shah replied to Arvind Kejriwal, stating that there is no such thing that is written, and no such BJP constitution which states that nobody can take any office as far as the age of 75 years is concerned, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi will complete the entire tenure. On the other side, soon after leaving from Aam Aadmi Party headquarters, he straight away went to South Delhi and did a huge mega roadshow along with Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann in support of the Aam Aadmi Party candidate. In South Delhi. From there he is heading directly to Krishna Nagar in East Delhi. So several of the road shows, remember, he's out on interim bail, a very short period that he can be out and be with the public. Of course, the leverage have been given by the Supreme Court that he can campaign for his party, but Bharatiya Janata Party, remember, was fast enough to counter Arvind Kejriwal, saying that don't forget, he is still on interim bail, he has to surrender by June 2nd, and he is still the main accused of the alleged Delhi liquor policy case. The investigation is currently underway, and he has to first answer about whether the water, whether the electricity and all those promises that Arvind Kejriwal had earlier promised to the people of Delhi, whether that has been fulfilled, or on what moral grounds he is asking for votes, as he is still the prime accused. So yes, of course, Arvind Kejriwal's presence, whether that will create an impact on the voters of the national capital or not, is something that remains to be seen. But people on ground clearly very happy as far as the Aam Aadmi Party supporters are concerned. They were very happy seeing Arvind Kejriwal back on the field, back on the roads and campaigning for the Aam Aadmi Party.
Meanwhile, Arvind Kejriwal on day one of his campaign launched an all-out attack at the BJP, saying that the BJP has a 75-year rule, which means that the Prime Minister will retire after he turns 75 next year, to which the BJP strongly retorted. In fact, Amit Shah said there's no such rule, and that the Aam Aadmi Party and the India Bloc certainly is creating a false narrative. In fact, Rajnath Singh also took to social media platform X to say that the India Bloc is unable to get its act together and it's casting aspersions on the BJP. But first look at how that flashpoint between Arvind Kejriwal and Home Minister Amit Shah played out.
ये लोग इंडिया गठबंधन से पूछते हैं आपका प्रधानमंत्री कौन होगा। मैं बीजेपी से पूछता हूं आपका प्रधानमंत्री कौन होगा। आप लोग सोच रहे होंगे केजरीवाल क्या बात कर रहा है, मोदी जी होंगे। नहीं, मोदी जी अगले साल 17 सितंबर को 75 साल के हो रहे हैं। बीजेपी के अंदर मोदी जी ने 2014 में मोदी जी ने खुद ने रूल बनाया था कि बीजेपी के अंदर जो भी 75 साल का होगा उसको रिटायर कर दिया जाएगा। अगर इनकी सरकार बनी तो पहले अगले 2 महीने में योगी जी को निपटाएंगे ये, और उसके बाद मोदी जी के सबसे खास अमित शाह को ये प्रधानमंत्री बनाएंगे।
मैं अरविंद केजरीवाल एंड कंपनी और पूरे इंडिया अलायंस को कहना चाहता हूं, मोदी जी 75 साल के हो जाए, इससे आपको आनंदित होने की जरूरत नहीं है। ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी के संविधान में कहीं नहीं लिखा है। मोदी जी ही ये टर्म पूरी करेंगे और मोदी जी ही आगे देश का नेतृत्व करते रहेंगे। इसमें भारतीय जनता पार्टी में कोई कंफ्यूजन नहीं है। ये कंफ्यूजन खड़ा करना चाहिए।
Meanwhile, Defence Minister and senior BJP leader Rajnath Singh also posted on social media platform X that after being released from jail on interim bail, the king of baseless allegations, Aam Aadmi Party leader Arvind Kejriwal, has said that the BJP has a 75-year-old rule. It is becoming clear, he said, that in this election, the BJP and the NDA are going to achieve a spectacular victory under the Prime Ministership of Mr. Narendra Modi. Due to the disappointment of the defeat, he goes on to say the entire India alliance, including the Aam Aadmi Party, has lost its mind. Meanwhile, the Press Club of India has written to the Election Commission saying that journalists have certain demands, including a press conference by the Election Commission after each voting phase. In fact, the journalists have also said that the entire poll data, including the absolute number of votes polled in each phase and percentage of voting, must be released by the Election Commission by the next day. Meanwhile, the Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge has replied to the Election Commission of India's letter as well after the poll body expressed serious concern about his recent statement. Mallikarjun Kharge said that the communal statement made by the ruling party must also be taken into account. And now our special exclusive with Union Minister Anurag Thakur. He's on the campaign trail in Himachal and he spoke exclusively to my colleague Gurpreet. He said that, well, Hamirpur will be won back by the BJP and that the Congress is struggling to win even 40 seats.
Union Minister Anurag Thakur is with us since morning. We have been travelling along with him. So, sir, what are your feedback on this response? We have seen the people of Hamirpur, they have already come on the roads. So, what message you have got from it?
मुझे लगता है मुझे कहने की ज़रूरत नहीं। लोगों का जोश, उत्साह, उमंग ये दिखाता है कि कमर कसली है। घर घर जाने की, 1 तारीख को कमल का बटन दबाने की, 5वीं बार अनुराग ठाकुर को सांसद और मोदी जी की हैट्रिक लगा के सरकार बनाने की।
So the people, when we interacted with a lot of people, they were saying for the last 4 times you have worked a lot for the development project. Can you put a light on the development project which you have brought in here for the convenience of the people?
If you look at 10 years before, we didn't have much bigger projects. Today we have All India Institute of Medical Sciences worth rupees 1700 crore rupees. We have Medical College in Hamirpur and 300 bedded hospital worth rupees 300 crore rupees. We have the Extension Center of PGI worth rupees 500 crore rupees in Una. Apart than that, we have the mother and child hospitals being installed and established and the dialysis center in all the districts. Apart than that, we have the 2 medical colleges, Central University, IIIT, NIT, Technical University, Career Point University and also the Hydro Engineering College. Apart than 6 Kendriya Vidyalayas have been opened and 6 are in the pipeline. We have built thousands of crore rupees worth roads and a railway line from Una to Daulatpur Chowk, which I promised and fulfilled that. And many trains we have started from Una to various parts of the country.
Sir, my last question is to Kejriwal. Arvind Kejriwal has got a bail. So how do you see this development here? Do you think any impact on the politics?
That's a conditional bail. Nothing to be happy about. And he has to surrender on 2nd of June and he'll be sent back to the jail.
In other news now, a huge rush of devotees around the hilly approach to Uttarakhand's Yamunotri, a part of the Char Dham Yatra along with Gangotri, Kedarnath and Badrinath, led to a massive crowd build-up on the small hillside path on Saturday. In fact, many people were seen standing in long queues for hours After this particular video went viral, the administration dispatched a team there as well. And these visuals are something that we see almost every year, every time the Char Dham Yatra begins. But what's the situation on the ground? Kishore Rawat with the latest.
बिल्कुल ये बहुत बड़ी समस्या है, खासकर चारों धामों में और ऋषिकेश और हरिद्वार में जब भी वीकेंड होता है उस समय बहुत बड़ी समस्या है, ट्रैफिक की समस्या। दूसरी तरफ यमुनोत्री के जो तस्वीरें सामने आई हैं वो कहीं ना कहीं गाड़ियों का ट्रैफिक के अलावा वो इंसानों का ट्रैफिक है, क्योंकि बहुत बड़ी तादाद में वहाँ पे लोग चले गए हैं। सबसे बड़ी बात यह है कि एक पर्टिकुलर संख्या नहीं रखी गई है कि कितने लोग पहाड़ों पर जाएंगे, यानी चार धाम में जाएंगे, क्योंकि काफ़ी हाई एल्टीट्यूड में है। अब ऐसे में ये तस्वीरें, जाहिर सी बात है, अगर बेहिसाब लोग वहाँ जाएंगे तो इस तरीके की तस्वीरें देखने को मिलेंगी और ऐसे में बड़ी दुर्घटना होने के चांसेस ज़्यादा हो जाते हैं, क्योंकि वहाँ पे जब इस तरीके से क्राउड आ जाता है, उसी रोड पर जो डांडी कंडी वाले उनको चलना है, खच्चर वालों को चलना है, आम लोगों को भी चलना है जो यात्री आ रखे हैं, तो ऐसे में जगह कम है पहाड़ों पर और इस तरीके से जो भीड़ आती है काफ़ी डरावने वाली होती है। अब ऐसे में जैसी ये तस्वीरें जब चली उसके बाद प्रशासन ने इसमें हरकत करी और एक सिस्टम लागू कर दिया है कि जैसे जो गाड़ियाँ यमुनोत्री की तरफ जाएंगी जब तक वो वापस नहीं आएंगी, एक पर्टिकुलर उन्होंने जगह रखी है यमुनोत्री के पास, वहाँ से तब तक लोगों को नहीं जाने दिएगा। यमुनोत्री का सिस्टम ये है कि यमुनोत्री में 5 किलोमीटर पैदल चलना होता है, इसी तरीके से केदारनाथ में 21 किलोमीटर पैदल चलना होता है। गंगोत्री और केदारनाथ की अगर बात करें तो वहाँ पर इतना ज़्यादा पैदल नहीं चलना पड़ता, थोड़ा सा चलना पड़ता है। तो ऐसे में ये तस्वीरें जाहिर सी बात है डरावने वाली है, लेकिन अब प्रशासन इन तस्वीरों के चलने के जब लगातार एनडीटीवी ने चलाया उसके बाद ये जागे हैं, तो जाहिर सी बात है इनको पहले सबक लेना चाहिए था। फिलहाल अभी क्राउड मैनेजमेंट के लिए सभी जिला अधिकारियों को बोला गया है कि क्राउड मैनेजमेंट करें और इस तरीके की जो तस्वीरें ना आए और लोगों को एक चीज़ सिस्टम से दर्शन करवाएं और वापस उनको बुलाएं। जी।
So positive impact there. But moving now to some political news from West Bengal. Mamata Banerjee taking on the governor and Raj Bhavan, saying that she will not visit Raj Bhavan ever since, in fact, after the harassment charges against the governor have surfaced. In fact, it was a Raj Bhavan employee who had levelled these allegations of molestation against West Bengal Governor C.V. Ananda Bose, though he says that this is nothing but a political conspiracy and that these are mischievous allegations to stop his bid against corruption against the Mamata Banerjee government. Take a look.
মাননীয় রাজ্যপাল, আমার কি দোষ আপনি বলুন? আমি তো জানিই না ঘটনা পুরো। বলছে दीदीगिरी नहीं चलेगा। আমি বলি वो तो सच है, दादागिरी नहीं चलेगा, दीदीगिरी नहीं चलेगा, लेकिन राज्यपाल पहले आपको तो पदत्याग करना चाहिए। Who are you to torture the women?
Now, the Chief Minister's comment asking him to quit his post is, of course, in the backdrop of what the governor earlier said, that this is something that has happened to stop him from, continuing to fight corruption and violence. And he called it an engineered narrative and mischievous allegations. And that is something that the Chief Minister also responded to, saying that the governor should resign. It's a sin to sit with the governor, is what she said after this incident. And she said that she will not go to the Raj Bhavan to meet the governor, and if there's any requirement for the government to meet the governor, or as she as the Chief Minister and head of government to meet the governor, she would prefer to do it on the streets rather than go to the Raj Bhavan, is what she said. And this is therefore now a major row between Raj Bhavan and state government. Relations completely seem to have broken down between Raj Bhavan and state government, and the Chief Minister attacking the Raj Bhavan and the governor over the allegations of molestation that have been made against him by a female temporary staffer of the Raj Bhavan who has complained to the Head Street Police Station against the governor.
Moving now, Union Minister Kiren Rijiju has been campaigning in Ladakh. In fact, he said there's only the Modi government that can actually effectively tackle the problems and issues in Ladakh. This after the massive protests, including against the central government, on the various rights that are being demanded by the people of Ladakh. Listen to what he had to say.
कुछ भी समस्या लद्दाख में है, उसका हल मोदी सरकार ही करेगा। यहाँ अभी जैसे कि और भी कैंडिडेट्स है, मान लो कांग्रेस ने भी कैंडिडेट दिया है और इंडिपेंडेंट ने भी एक कैंडिडेट, एक कंबाइन, मैंने सुना है करगिल से एक कंबाइन करके दे रहे हैं, लेकिन वो जीत के भी कुछ कर नहीं पाएगा, क्योंकि एक एमपी का रोल क्या होता है, वो पार्लियामेंट में पार्टिसिपेशन करता है, डिबेट डिस्कशन में। काम तो सरकार को करना होता है। इसलिए लद्दाख के अंदर में जो भी डिमांड है, मैंने पूरा पढ़ा है, डिमांड के बारे में भी मैंने चर्चा भी की है, और सारा जो डिमांड है उसको कैसे हल करना है उसको भी हमने सोचा है, और आगे चुनाव के बाद इसको आगे ले जाएंगे।
In other news now is Jaishankar, the External Affairs Minister's strong statements against Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. He said that Canada is propagating extremism and separatism in the garb of freedom of speech. Listen in.
What we have seen, to our regret, has been the direction of Canadian politics where separatist, extremist forces, many of whom openly advocate violence, have been given political space in that country. And there are people in positions of prominence today in Canadian politics who actually espouse that kind of separatism and extremism. Whenever we have taken it up with the Canadians, and it's not a new issue, it's been going on almost for 10 years now, they keep saying, oh, we have freedom of speech.
In fact, S. Jaishankar also reiterated India's historical relationship with Russia, saying that India was forced to buy oil from Russia, given the fact that it was a desperate situation amid the Russia-Ukraine war. Had that not been the case, oil prices would have gone up by over 20 rupees. Listen in.
हम पे जो दबाव हुआ था कि हम रूस से तेल न लें, अब आप सोचिए, क्योंकि जब आप रील देखते ना, आपको लगता है कि भाई इन्होंने उसको सुना दिया, चलो बहुत अच्छा लगा, हाँ, पर आप थोड़ा अपने दृष्टि, अपने परिप्रेक्ष्य से थोड़ा सोचिए इसको। मान लीजिए कि हम झुक जाते, रूस से तेल नहीं लेते, ये मुझे बताइए कि आपके लिए पेट्रोल की कीमत कितनी ज़्यादा बढ़ती? कम से कम 20 रुपए ज़्यादा 1 लीटर के लिए आते थे, कम से कम।
And with that, we'll take a short break now, come back for more on the other side. Welcome back. In some international news, massive protests broke out in the Mirpur district in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir on Friday over unjust taxes and the arrest of dozens of activists. A protest was actually planned for Saturday over the Pakistan-imposed taxes and rising prices, but the deployment of additional forces and arrests of over 70 activists angered people, and they took to the streets on Friday itself. The protesters reportedly pelted stones at security personnel as well.